How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and you know what time it is. It is time for the joke of the day. We do these 5 days out the work week to kind of add some light so you can hear my corny jokes. All right, so here it comes. A lion never cheats on his wife, but a tiger would. Classic. All right, so let's go. So what we're going to be talking about are the two weed stocks under $10. So these are penny stocks that you need to be keeping a strict eye on. I know many of you have come to me and been asking me about this, and considering the day that we had today in the market for this particular sector, it's been crazy. There was some news that was released on Tuesday where I think it was the CEO who runs CGC Canopy was pretty much saying, hey, we'll be able to get into the US market in 2021. So right there, that literally just lit the fire and everything just started going in regards to that entire sector. You saw it today. Many stocks enjoyed big gains. And ones that I'm going to be covering in this video are going to be Sundial, so SNDL, and Organigram, all right, which is OGI. The reason why I want to talk about these plays, again, I'm not telling you to buy into it because I'm not a financial advisor and this isn't financial advice. So when you do invest, just know that you're doing it at your own risk. I know a lot of people are thinking, okay, so when do I get in? And the last thing that you want to do is FOMO into a particular stock because you want to get in there hoping that you can continue to ride the wave, right? So what you want to do is build out your positions in a smarter way. So don't put all your money into one position. So what I mean by that is it's like this. So let's say, for example, you're very interested in buying shares of SNDL, right? It's a pretty good price. You're like, you know what, this is not too bad. Let's say you have $1,000. Don't just say, well, you know what, I'm going to buy $1,000 worth of shares right now. Instead, split that up. You could be like, all right, you know what, I'm going to buy 250, another 250, another 250, and another 250 at different time intervals or in different days. So I myself, it depends on the stock. It depends on what's going on. When knowing that the sector is running up and it's really hot right now, again, if there's more legislations that come out or if there's anything that's released by the government in the United States saying, hey, we're going to legalize it, hey, we're going widespread, then you know a lot of these stocks are going to run up. So even if you do end up building out a position right now at the current prices or the price that you may see tomorrow, just know as things start opening up in the United States and so forth, there's a lot of room for growth in whichever stock you choose. But you also want to make sure that they're legit. And that's part of the reasons why I brought up these two stocks under $10 because, again, they are great companies in the sense of, hey, you know what? They're witnessing this growth, but they also have the ability to actually facilitate this type of a growth. So I won't waste any more time. Let's get into the charts and we'll look at these two stocks. Organigram. This play was actually mentioned from Chris saying just this past weekend. So it was literally inside the $2.48 range, as you can see here, right there at market open on Monday. $2.48. And now, speaking, as you can see, the ticker is moving because that's actually going on. It's pretty much recording after hours. We are at $7.83. That was the after hours high. So this is more than a double up. This is, again, congratulations. This is a huge home run. I know Chris will be talking about this later. But, like, shout out to everyone who built out their positions in this play in the $2.40 range. Maybe you got it in the $2.30 range. And maybe some of you got in a lot earlier. All right. Because as you guys can see from the chart, the momentum was there, right? It's been a hot sector since the beginning of the week for cannabis and so forth. So I know a lot of people are going to be asking me, all right, so what is a good price to get in? So that also comes with the disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor and this isn't financial advice. So just know when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk, all right? So now I'm going to be looking at this stock. I know things are really hot this week in the cannabis sector. There's been some news that came out from Canopy Growth. The CEO is saying that, hey, he's trying to get into the American market into 2021. It's going to happen. So again, that literally got these stocks racing and every stock in that sector started going with it, all right? When we look at the chart, if you were able to get it in at 248, there was a run up, right? Throughout that entire Monday, ended up closing the day at $3.26. We see a lot of consolidation here. See where that consolidation here is at 326. So if you guys have been watching long enough, what's going to happen when it comes to the next day, right? We want to look for the stock to actually get above $3.36. If this happens, if they beat the previous high from the day before, the stock is more likely to actually run up, all right? So as we go, look at this. So at the end of the day, on Monday, the stock ended up gapping up because, like I said, started off at 248, maintained straight consolidation, boom, we gapped up the next day. But we didn't really see that much action, as you could see in pre-market, right? From 4 all the way to 9. You see that? There wasn't really that much action. It was up a little bit, then it came down because, people were selling off before the bell. They're not too sure, you know what I mean? And then we got to a price of $3.49, all right? But again, this is literally at a price where it is above the high from yesterday, which is $3.35. So now, what happens? Boom, serious movement. Right here, we get up to $4.88, right on the high there. And then, we have some sell-offs. People are taking profits and stuff like that. We go down to $4. This was a situation where if you didn't add on Monday, right, this was the perfect spot to get in on Tuesday. Because you already know this and you realize this very quickly because the stock rebounds, recovers, and then bam, goes to 448. So it goes up almost 50 cents. And then look at that consolidation we have, right? Consolidates all the way into market close, right? And now, market close, we're going in. And again, there's more news. The whole entire sector is heating up. This trickled into other cannabis stocks as well that I'm going to be covering after this. And then bam, we had a gap up. Look at that. Some consolidation here in that 433 range. And then we had a gap up. Started moving, 468. So one thing that you want to realize, and I want to bring this out, if a stock is running up right before after hours close, so after hours closes at 8 o'clock, right? So if you notice right before 8, so that could be 7:59, if you see a stock is starting to run up, then you know the likelihood of that stock actually opening up higher the next day is very high. It's very high. Unless the market conditions are not good and so forth like that, then, it'll do the opposite. But for the most part, if a stock finishes the day on a high, it's going to go into a high the next day. And that's exactly what we see here. So we could see that $5.55, right? Obviously, we're going to have people who are going to be taking profits, right? In pre-market, taking profits, but we're still at $5. And literally from 5 a.m. all the way to 7, consolidation. So when we look at this, oh, this is looking really good, right? And now, look how we go up. Look how it just goes up. Bam. More buying going on, right? And then we're at $6.26. And as we keep moving, keep going up, this is where the FOMO is starting to kick in. Because we're noticing, remember what I said before, in the pre-market, there's not as much volume being traded. So if the stock got this high in pre-market and it's not going to be the same amount of volume that you would get in regular trading hours, expect a big move. But again, we go here, a lot of sell-offs, people are taking profits. But look, we bounce off the moving average line back to being inside the trend. And we literally maintain that area, right, around the high 580s. And boom, right at open, we get a bit of a spike. This is today now, right? We go to $6.01. We have some little bit of a consolidation right there. Let's open up the chart a little bit so you guys can see that. And then boom, we got all the way down here to let's call it 496 because it's hard to actually catch that. So let's just call this $4.97, right? So this was actually a point in the morning. It was around, yeah, there we go. Right at 1040, a lot of stocks went down. Like the market just went down, right? Like a lot of stocks just lost a lot of momentum. A lot of stocks that were doing well right at open or they were consolidating, everything just went down across the board. So every single industry was affected. But then it rebounded back up. And here we are at $5.41. We already know, look at all that consolidation going on. So from 11:20 a.m. all the way to 1 o'clock. Look at that. All that consolidation. Staying on that line. Staying on that middle line. More buying pressure. More buying pressure. We go to 6. So this is another thing I want to bring out to you guys. Usually when you see a run up like this, and considering that the sector is really, really hot, it's sort of like there's a saying called rising tides move all boats or float all boats, something like that. So usually, since there is a lot of hype already inside the cannabis sector, also in regards to social media, a lot of people on Reddit, Wall Street Bets, again, there's a lot of hype behind it, very similar to how you see with GameStop, right? So as we can see this move, look at this consolidation, literally consolidating in this area. Considering that the market had a really rough time in the parts of the later morning and the afternoon, and the stocks still continue to have strong momentum. Again, the chances and the likelihood of having a strong after hours like we're seeing now is very, very high. And now this is where we see, hey, from $5.90 at close, we reach a high of $7.83. Of course, it'll be hard to actually catch that. So let's just call that $7.50. And as you can see right now at 5:32 p.m., it's now at $7.26. So this is the type of move where, you know what, considering the conditions, considering how the market is, considering the sector, we got to take advantage of these movements. So I just got to say congratulations to anyone who got into the $2 range, the $3 range, the $4 range, $5 range, $6 range. You are eating very, very well. I know many of you are asking, hey, is this going to continue? Whether this is going to continue or not, I can't really give you a definite answer. But again, like I said in the previous examples, if it ends up running up right before close, after hours close, then we have some strong momentum for the next trading day. All right, so we're going to move on to the next stock. Growers, SNDL. And you know what? This one was a powerful, powerful move right here. I've actually bought Sundial, right? I was in this play a while back, and I remember this was around the 30-cent range, the 40-cent range, where it would just literally be stuck there, right? And seeing it now at $3.44, like, is actually shocking to me. But we understand why that's the case. So to let you know, did I end up having a position in SNDL? No, I did not. Do I feel like I wish I should have got into it? Hey, it would have been nice, because congratulations to anyone who got in when it was $1.10. That got in right in the beginning of the week. So as you can see here, it was literally at $1, and yeah, it was like $1.10, $1.15. So what I want to kind of talk about is that it was very important for SNDL to stay above $1 because they had to deal with, like, you know, the risk of being delisted and stuff like that. So there was already a lot of momentum in that sense as well. Anytime you hear any news like that, hey, well, a stock can end up being delisted and so forth and blah, and there's a date that's coming up, and then there's so many other things as far as what's going on in the sector, catalysts and stuff like that. It's something you want to keep on your radar and you want to pay attention to. I myself, I don't like being in too many plays in a particular sector. I like to diversify myself. And that's part of the reasons why I wasn't in this one. But again, hey, I missed out, but congratulations to anyone who got in there. So if you notice, like, it literally consolidated for the whole entire day, right? On Monday almost. Literally, the whole entire day you see consolidation. Had a little bit of run up right into after hours, right? Went down a little bit. Now we're in the $1.24 range. Consolidation. And then after, if you notice now, look at this. We move up, right? This is around 7 in the morning. It's about 141. Not too much of a big move, right? Look, again, just staying consolidated in that area. Let's open up the chart a little bit so you guys have more to see. And now here we are. And this is February the 9th. So this is yesterday, right? So we're at $1.33. And look how consistent that is. We have some consolidation here, right? Right at $1.46. We go up, right? We got a lot of people are buying in and so forth. And we come back down, back into this range, $1.50. Look at that. So we're literally trending upwards. We're staying above that moving average line. If you guys are seeing this, look at this. We're staying above that blue line. That is good. And literally just came down a little bit, right? And then boom, literally just consistent in this area in regards to around just under $1. We could say around $1.70 to the $1.60 area, $1.50 area in some cases. If you got into at $1.33, that'd be great as well. So like I said in the previous video when I was going over Organigram, right? Take a look at this. So we can see what's going on in after hours here. A lot more consolidation, a little bit of movement going up, a little bit of movement goes up a bit, right? There's some news, like I said before in the previous video for Organigram, that hey, the CEO from Cannabis said, hey, you know what? He's going to be able to penetrate in the U.S. market in 2021. So what do we have here? We have a gap up. Rising tides floats all boats. Remember that. So the whole entire cannabis industry benefited from this. So that's part of the reason why Sundial benefited from this. And look at this. In the whole entire time, almost of pre-market, look at this. Staying within range, right? It gapped up and it literally stayed consolidated. A little bit of a move up on the high range there. We're going up, going up, going up. And then let's just stop right here. So right now we're at $2. Let's say you got your entry in at $1.30, $1.40, $1.50. When you're seeing this type of a trend, there's a lot of buying pressure right here. There's a lot of FOMO going on. Like the stock I just covered, it was a bit more expensive, right? It was like double the price. If we look at other cannabis stocks, they're fairly expensive as well, right? Like some of them are in the $20 range. Not talking about currently where they are right now. I know with Tilray and CGC and stuff, but I'm talking about like before all of the events that happened today. A lot of them are more expensive, right? So with these particular type of penny stocks like SNDL and Organigram, it's easier for more investors to actually get into it, especially the ones that don't want to pay too much, and also the ones that want to have higher returns because they can buy a lot more shares. So this is where we start seeing, you see how it just stays above that moving average line there? If you notice from all these videos that I do, any stock that's able to stay above that moving average you see in the middle there, just want to keep it easy and simple for you guys, then it's going to look good. It's going to be a good day. And that's exactly what we're seeing. So let's spread out the chart a little bit. So you spread out the chart. So you have a little bit of a spike here, $2.42. And then boom, consolidation, but we're moving up. Then we hit 248, right? We already know, what is this called? This is called a resistance level. This is not a support level, it's a resistance level. It's reaching this particular area of 248, 249, and it's getting knocked back down. So when it got knocked back down, there's some more selling going on because a lot of people were taking profits, especially if you got in at a good price, right? So then after we get down to $2.09. And again, remember what I said. Today in the market, a lot of stocks, there was a period of time, it was around 1030 to around 1050, where every stock went down briefly, right? So this bounced right back up and just followed again right on that moving average line, that midline. That's what we want to see, because this is showing us a sign that it's bullish. A lot of people are interested, a lot of people are buying, right? So we have some consolidation here at 231. And look at this. We literally start creeping up slowly. So at 231, 245. And then we get up here to 270s. I like seeing this type of price action. I really don't like seeing when a stock just goes straight up. Like if it's just, because usually when that does happen, it comes back down just as fast. But like this here is very, very steady. Like it's going up, but it's very, very steady. And that's the type of action that I love to see. And then now, as you can see, now we're on the top moving average line. And look, this is where you know things are getting very, very bullish. Because look at this. Look how many touch points we're seeing here. Look at this. That's when we know it's very, very bullish at this point when you start seeing this. Or even when you're looking at the candles, I haven't really gotten into candle details with you guys. I will do that. Just want to keep it straightforward. So we can see a lot of buying, boom, right? And then we hit a resistance level. It gets knocked back down. But check it out. We know there's a lot of buying interest because people are still buying. There's a lot of selling. And then look, we get a bit more momentum. A lot of people who are selling, people who are buying, and then they're holding. We get another move up, right? And literally, we're just under we're just at right 295, right? And then look, we're consolidating. We literally stayed there from you can see from 210 consolidated in that area all the way up to 305, right? And then boom, you got the sell-offs. People are selling shares and stuff like that. No big deal. And bounce back, recovers, right? Right back to that support area like I showed you guys. So we're at 280, 284. And then we go into close. Like I said, let's say the later part of the morning and near the end of the afternoon, the market was not that great. But because this sector was really hot and it was keeping its gains, that's something to pay attention to. And that's how like I said, on close, the stock was going up. So what's going to happen in after hours? It's more likely to gain some momentum. And that's exactly what we saw here. So it ended up closing right here. This is where we're at. This is at 355. We're at $2.93, right? Now, check this out. So, we have a sell-off right here. People are selling off. They don't know what's going to happen. They're like, hey, market just closed. I'm selling off, right? And look at this. Crazy. 276. Strong movements all the way up to $3.68. This is one of the things when it comes to actually trading in after hours. There's not as much volume, but at the same time, a lot of big moves I've realized from my experience happen within the first hour. So if you're with a broker that closes, let's say at instead of, I know some brokers hey, it closes at 4 o'clock market close. But if you have a broker, I know with Quest Trade, it closes at 5:30. Right? Closes at 5:30, so that's good. I know some of you might have a broker that closes at 8 o'clock. I also have a broker that closes at 8 o'clock, Interactive Brokers. Some have 6:30, some have 5. But whatever the case is, I've realized when a stock is literally going up before close, going into after hours, again, the likelihood of it making a run is very, very high. And this is an example of it right here. Because considering it made this move to 277 all the way to 368, that's almost $1. That's almost $1. And then, of course, this is around the time, again, where people just start selling because that is a big move, right? And then here we are at $3.45 live right now at 5:44 p.m. So now I know many of you are going to ask me, so what are my thoughts in regards to where are we going? What's going to be going forward? What's the price going to be looking like? If the market conditions are great, things are things are well, whatever, then I could definitely see some more movement in SNDL. We also got to take into consideration they literally have to stay above $1 up until the end of this week as well. So it's staying above $1. I definitely see that's going to happen. That's definitely looking obvious right now. Will this momentum actually continue into tomorrow? Maybe it will, maybe it not. I'm not a fortune teller. I couldn't tell you. But at the same time, it's something to be aware of. Take a look at pre-market. See how it was doing. Because as I showed you guys, looking at the pre-market action, I'm not saying it's going to give you an idea what's going to happen during regular trading hours. But it's one of the indicators that you can use. And also paying attention for the first 10 to 15 minutes of market open is very important. Because one of the reasons why I don't buy right at market open either is because there's so much changes in price. The price could go all the way down or it could just start moving up. You just don't know what you're going to get. So I usually wait a little bit before I even do any purchasing. I usually wait at least 15 to 20 minutes or so. It all depends in certain factors, but for the most part, before I do any type of a trade whatsoever. So just wanted to say congratulations to anyone who was able to catch these moves. Like I said, if you were able to get in there at that dollar, if you got in if you got in even yesterday at $1.33, I know you're smiling right now. I know you are definitely smiling, being up almost 300%. And as far as if you should be taking profits from any of these two stocks, you know what? I'm actually going to talk about that. I'm going to stop these screen recordings and I'll talk about that right after. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll talk soon. All right, so we just finished going over those 2 stocks. Like I said, it's very important with every company you decide to invest in, they have the KLTs. You got to know, like, and trust the company if you're planning to buy shares and hold them long term. As far as for the cannabis industry overall in general, there's a lot of growth that I can see coming ahead, especially as legalization and it gets adopted even more. But understand there's a lot of risks that are involved, and you got to be able to stomach it if you're going to decide to get into these plays. And like I always say, I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. So when you do invest, just know you're doing it at your own risk. Make sure whatever money that you are using, you're not afraid to lose it. Because if you end up being afraid to lose it, that's when your emotions will get involved. And when the volatility gets real high or the stock ends up going down, you're more likely to sell at a loss. And here on this channel, we don't sell for losses, all right? I'll be talking to you guys soon. Peace out.